If you're interested in taking a hunter education class, now's the time to sign up statewide. Today we're visiting with Hunter Education Coordinator Brian Schaefer to go over all the details. I'm Mike Anderson with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Brian, why is now the time to sign up for hunter education courses?
So Mike, the majority of the time here in North Dakota, most of our classes occur between about mid-January through the beginning of June, and historically that was because everyone had to be in the deer lottery that occurs in early June. So that's when the majority of our classes occur. That's when our volunteer instructors have some free time. We have a lot of our instructors who are involved in agriculture, so the middle of winter was a great time for hunter ed classes historically. We're starting to see more and more throughout the summer and early fall months, but still probably about 70% of our classes occur in this time frame.
Who is required to take hunter education?
So in the state of North Dakota, anyone born after December 31st, 1961 is required to complete a state certified hunter education course.
Okay, and we hit a milestone in 2024. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Since our state required hunter education since 1979, we hit a milestone of 250,000 students that graduated our course this past spring.
Brian, explain how a student can sign up for hunter education and explain what they would learn in the class.
Yeah, so if you're looking to take the class yourself or for a youngster in your family to take the class, the best thing would be go to our website, sign up for our text and email alerts. I say most people probably see their text messages a little quicker than email, so I'd recommend signing up for the text alert. And so what that does is every time we list a class, it'll shoot you a text message and say what city it's in. And if that works for your schedule, I would get signed up. And make sure you have yours or your youngster's social security number available, because that's going to be required for signing up for the course. And then get signed up for the course. And when you attend those courses, you're not required to bring anything. Just show up. Instructors will have everything you need, and you'll learn about wildlife conservation, landowner relations, and a little bit of everything that we want our students to know as a state wildlife agency as new hunters coming into the tradition. But most importantly, and the most important thing we'll be teaching the youngsters about is safe firearm handling when we're storing them, when we're transporting them, and when using them in the field.
Okay, and there's a couple of different methods. Do we call it online?
We call it our home study. It's what you would consider what most people call a hybrid course. Historically, from 1979 on, most people who took hunter education took what we call our traditional course, which is 14 hours of in-person learning with volunteer instructors that can span from a weekend course all the way through 5, 6, 7 nights. In recent history, we started what we call our hybrid course. As learning has changed drastically in the last 5, 10, 15 years, the way students retain knowledge has changed as well. So our hybrid course, or our home study course, is you still meet in person the first night, our first course, and then you have 2 weeks to complete the online material, which takes anywhere from 7 to 10 hours. And then they come back and take the same written and practical exam that any other student would take.
And that's become real popular just because you can do it on your own time.
Absolutely. Kids' schedules aren't getting any less busy with sports and other activities, and it's the way students learn now is a lot of it is being done digitally, the way students retain knowledge. But we still have that first night to go over firearm handling, North Dakota specific regulations, and then they go home and learn at their pace. And it's a great way for kids to learn. Everybody learns a little differently, and that online course really focuses on those different types of learning styles. And so when delivered properly, that course is very successful. One thing to add about the hybrid or the home study course is it's very important for that youngster to have someone at home who's involved to really go over the firearm handling, go over some of those other things, and guide those students through that course, which generally speaking, most young hunters or new hunters have someone who's going to mentor them, and it's very important for them to be involved in that learning process.
How old do you have to be, Brian, to sign up for hunter education?
For our traditional course, it's the calendar year in which a youngster turns 11, and for the home study course, it's the calendar year in which they turn 12.
Brian, it's not just kids taking these hunter education courses.
No, but starting about 15 years ago, we started to see a drastic increase in female students, mostly young female students, and then we started to see more and more adult female students. And now probably the largest and fastest growing group is adult young males that we miss as youngsters. I talked to a lot of students who are signing up to take Hunter Ed in their 20s, 30s, and it's because we missed them. They were playing sports, they were participating in other school activities, and now they're young adults and they're looking to take Hunter education. They want to get back into that tradition because their friends are doing it or other family members are doing it. And so our classes, you walk into them now, it's not just a bunch of kids in there. It's anywhere from 10 or 11 years old all the way to 40, 50, 60-year-olds. So don't ever let that be a barrier for taking Hunter Ed.
Brian, let's talk volunteers. These courses would not be possible without our volunteers throughout the state.
Correct, Mike. Since the 1970s, our Hunter education program, the backbone has been our volunteer instructors across the state. We have them from Bowman to Grand Forks, and there's several of them who have been teaching with the program since its inception in '79. And it's just a testament that we've hit 250,000 students, and that all is them carrying that load. And they've done a wonderful job, and we're always looking for more. Yeah, anyone who's interested in becoming a Hunter education volunteer, just go to the website, look under the education tab and find where it says become a Hunter Ed volunteer, sign up on our application, get that to us. That'll start the process of us sending you to the training, providing some training, sending you any material you may need, and it's really quite simple. You don't need to teach a whole course, but a lot of times we just need knowledgeable people to help out on test night when we have to get a lot of students through a course. So anyone who wants to jump in with both feet or just help out a little bit in their community, we highly recommend it.
A lot of great information, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.